This video is going to be a look at Kyle Hamilton's play in the Ravens' Week 11 win over the Carolina Panthers. Of course, we know he got injured in that game. We all hope and pray that he's okay. To me, I thought it was an impact injury. Looked like a bruise, I thought, in the thigh. But you'll get to all 22 and you'll get the end zone angle, so we will be able to see a little bit more acutely or specifically. It's a shame because he was playing so well. It'd be a huge loss if he's out for a while. God forbid, out for the season. But it would be a huge loss. And I think I'm even going to show you the next play after he went out of the game injured to try to illustrate how big of a loss it could be. He did so many things well on the field against the Panthers. I'm going to list some of them here before we get into the film. Solid, timely, sure tackles. Just really dependable and reliable tackling recently. Smart coverage underneath. In zone. Generally playing zone, I feel like. He's generally assigned to curl flat or hot two in our zone blitz package. Incredibly physical play against slot wide receivers. I'm talking about on the screens that the Panthers tried to run to Laviska Shenault, who I think Kyle Hamilton tackled 4 times yesterday. And Shenault is a physical guy. He's a big receiver. To me, he almost looks like a tight end. It was a couple of times where, scouting the Panthers, I was watching film and I was like, who is that? Like from the all 22, you can't see all the numbers clearly sometimes. Especially he's 15, so the last number's a 5. And I thought, is that a tight end? I thought maybe it was 85. And then you get the end zone angle of that same play, and you're like, oh, that's Shenault. He's a receiver. So a big guy. Hamilton tackled him well. Hamilton showed a burst, which I think he has shown consistently lately, putting his foot in the ground and coming downhill, particularly on that slot blitz where he hits Baker Mayfield, and Mayfield completes it on, I think, a 3rd and 9 to Terrence Marshall Jr. In the last 5 games, Kyle Hamilton's got 19 tackles. 15 of them are solos. 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits, and 1 pass defended. I'm gonna go in order of the plays that I think are important, but the first one I'm going to show is I just think elite awareness. Being prepared. This is a tackle in the backfield out of an unbalanced pro twins look. I'm looking at my notes for a second to see where this is. I'll let the play run a couple of times while I look. This is a 1st and 10 on the Panthers' 4th possession. And it's tackle over. And I think Kyle Hamilton recognizes that. When I say tackle over, what that means is you've got the Z receiver here and the tight end there. Then this is a guard, center, guard. And you got 2 tackles on the same side. So the right tackle is over there on the same side as the left tackle. And I think Kyle Hamilton understands that. I don't really see any communication happening. He's doing something with his hands. But as soon as the quarterback turns, he's gone. He's already gone. I didn't see this in the scouting for the Panthers. I didn't see the tackle over consistently. I think maybe I saw it one time. I saw Jumbo where they put a 6th offensive lineman on the field. But to me, this is recognition. Because we've got our nickel look on the field. All right, we've got an edge rusher, outside linebacker, edge rusher, outside linebacker, 2 D tackles, 2 inside backers, and this is Chuck Clark walked up in the box, presumably to play man on that tight end to what is now the weak side. Elite play, if you ask me. Recognition, defeating the blocking scheme, disrupting the play. And you'll see another example here in a couple of minutes of him recognizing something pre-snap. So the rest of these are going to be in order that they occurred. And I do have some notes, so you may hear me referring to them, so forgive me for that. Got to find a more professional way to have notes accessible. 1st and 10, 1st possession. This is the 2nd play of the game. And here he is. Down here to the twin side. Pro twins again, but it's not tackle over. Shenault in motion. Watch what he does to DJ Moore. You probably already seen it if you're on Twitter. That's unbelievable. I don't know if he got credit for the tackle. I think he did. It's a tackle for loss. Look where he makes contact with Moore. And Moore's a strong guy. He's not weak. What's that, on the 32.5, almost a 33? He's driven him back into Shenault's lap. This is one of the reasons that you want to have a 6'4", 220-pound safety, nickel safety hybrid out there, incapable of being blocked by most wide receivers in the NFL. Size, strength, and commitment to his angle, meaning he's the force player. He's the guy that cannot let the ball get outside of him. That's why he's hell-bent on going at this angle to make sure that Chenault doesn't get outside. That's what the force player does. Great job, if you ask me. I thought that one and the previous play can show you how excellent he is at coming forward. All right, the next one is a 3rd and 5. He's not going to be involved in the sack. I think it's a split sack between Justin Houston and Patrick Queen, but he's in coverage against Chenault. So it's not like Chenault is a slow receiver, okay, guys? Marlon is on DJ Moore. And watch what happens to DJ Moore. DJ Moore tries to go inside of Marlon and watch JPP collision him. And then I like how we got Hamilton stacked over Marlon. So they're letting him, he's letting everything get sorted out. Boom. Look at the collision. JPP on DJ Moore. That'll dissuade you as a receiver, running into a 6'5", 270 guy. And then Hamilton staying on the outside leverage. I like how handsy he is with receivers, tight ends. I like it. That ended the first possession for Carolina. Second possession, this is a 3rd and 10. And this is the Ravens' new version of Sticks Blitz 0, but with 3 safeties and 2 corners. To underneath drag to Chenault. On 3rd and 10, Hamilton's just everywhere. It seems like he's everywhere this guy goes. So the route's coming from the backside. Here's our 3 safeties on 3rd and 10. And we've got 6 guys lined up. Usually, Roquan Smith is dropping out. The other 5 are blitzing, but obviously the Ravens are going to vary that look, so they're not predictable. He sees what looks like an out by 2. He starts to get outside leverage on it, and then he's got great eyes. He sees the ball thrown, cuts inside of 12, who gave no effort, and realizes it immediately. Tackle on a 3rd and 10 to keep it to a 5-yard gain, force another punt on the second possession. End zone angle, same play. You can see what our 6 guys threatening does. You got guys blocking downfield, clearly. 82 to tight end, engaging downfield right here. And I think that's what 12 was actually trying to do with Hamilton. Hamilton just ducks inside, makes the tackle on Chenault, who you can see is a big, thick guy. Marlon Humphrey in the middle of it, too. What can you say about Marlon Humphrey? Like, amazing. Third possession, which was a 3 and out. This is now a 3rd and 9. And I think Peters is going to get the credit for this. It's a great catch by DJ Moore, I believe. Watch Hamilton. I mean, I see why the ball was spotted down where it was. It's the same look. It's our 3 safety look. Roquan Smith dropping out. It's a great catch. Marcus Peters is going for the interception. Kyle's just breaking on it. All he's doing is pushing 2 into the free safety. So when I say 2, all he's doing is getting outside leverage on 2, making sure that 2 goes into the free safety. Yeah, to me, this is our zone blitz package. So we're 3 deep, 3 under here, where those 2 guys outside, which I think is Clark and Hamilton, is hot 2. So if 2 goes out, they got to take him now. As it is, 2 goes vertical. He gets involved with DJ Moore. Just make sure that Moore doesn't get up and get the first down. Again, I think that tackle was credited to Peters, but I think Kyle Hamilton plays it well. Let me know what you think. 5 guys rushing. Kind of a duck thrown by Mayfield, if you ask me. I'm not sure if it was tipped or not. That was a 3rd and 9. Completed pass that. No, that ball was not tipped. 3rd and 9, completed pass to Moore. Peters, great effort. Hamilton there to finish it off. He's doing a lot of good things coming forward. All right, that was a 3 and out on the 3rd possession. 4th possession. This is an 11-play drive where the Panthers reach midfield, I believe. It's a 1st and 10 from the -45. Again, it's going to be complete to Chenault at a Pro Twins. And Hamilton's going to be there on the tackle. This is a great tackle. This is open field. I mean, Chenault is an athlete. I believe he's got 2 60-yard plus touchdowns this year. Looks like our cover 3 to me. I think I'm seeing 3 deep, 4 under here. So he's the curl flat player, meaning Hamilton has the curl first, generally top of the numbers, and then break on the flat once the ball is thrown, or depending on how they're teaching it, as soon as there's a flat threat, take it. That's not normally how we would teach cover 3. because then you get high load. It's a great tackle. Remember that? Remember all that discussion about him not tackling well, and I think he had 3 missed tackles the first 3 weeks. Look how he comes to balance here. This is perfect. Squared up, feet balanced, hitting the ground multiple times, able to redirect. Boom. Yeah, it's not a huge hit, but he gets the guy's legs and brings him down on a 1st and 10 for a 1-yard gain. A couple of plays later, this is the one that I showed to begin this video. 1st and 10, Ravens 44. Unbalanced or tackle over Pro Twins. And it's the recognition, if you ask me. You're going to see another example of the recognition here in a moment. We've got Clark to the tight end. Like I said, technically he would have to cover 2. You know, if 2 bubbles out or something like that and they screen it up, then Hamilton's got to recover on an inside-out angle here. But I think he's just reading quarterback here. I think as soon as the quarterback opens up to the same size of running back, he's gone. And that's just a read. I mean, people do that read when they're 12 years old. And I think he's just got the recognition to understand those situations as they occur. Because in the NFL, those simple reads don't occur that often. I think Hamilton's just got great recognition. Probably great film study, man. All right, couple of plays later. 3rd and 13 at the 47. This is Bozeman's weird snap/penalty, I guess, because it doesn't hit the quarterback's hands or any part of the quarterback first. It touches someone else, in this case the center first. That's why it goes as a penalty. So I'm showing you the end zone angle so you understand the play. This was a 3rd and 13, turned into a 3rd and 18. Now, here's the all 22 of that same situation you just saw. Watch Kyle Hamilton. This is a penalty. Nothing happens. I'm showing you his awareness. He's looking in the backfield right now. I think he sees Baker Mayfield make a check. This is empty. And there's 3 receivers to the top side. Kyle Hamilton is literally saying the play right now. I'm going to point out one other thing about this play, which is a non-play. It didn't happen. Watch Roquan Smith. If they had got this screen off, watch the angle he is taking. He's lined up at the mic, and he's going to run underneath the tight end and decapitate someone. I do not worry about screens to trips out of empty anymore with that guy in there running at that angle. My point in showing this was to show you that Kyle Hamilton seemed to have awareness of it. If you think I'm exaggerating the point, here's the very next play, 3rd and 18. Here's Hamilton. He's not going to be involved with the tackle, but guess what play it is? The same play. Slot screen, DJ Moore drops it. Hamilton is involved in some immaculate film study. Now, we don't know what was said. There might have been other guys on the field who were communicating it, and he might have echoed that call. I don't think so. I think he was on that situation. To me, he's the first guy that says anything. Marlon looks over, giving him an X hand signal for some type of coverage check. Hamilton overrides it because he sees something in here. He's 22 years old, right? Is most 22-year-olds in the NFL playing with Marlon Humphrey, who is an All-Pro, multiple-time All-Pro, are most 22-year-olds overriding his call because they recognize something? I don't think so. Kyle Hamilton is not most 22-year-olds. All right, 6th possession now, so we skipped the 5th possession. The 5th possession was the Tyus Bowser possession. I did a video on that earlier. This is the 6th possession. 10-play drive that ended in a field goal. This is the blitz, 3rd and 9, hitting the quarterback, maybe a split second too late in terms of affecting the throw. Maybe two split seconds too late. We're bringing pressure. Yeah, because the ball's out. Marcus is giving up inside leverage. Very rare for Marcus Peters to not play the coverage in terms of understanding we're going to get pressure, bringing 2 safeties off the edge, dropping guys out. We've done this now, to my knowledge, 4 times in the last 3 weeks, meaning blitz the safeties off the edge, and drop out, in this case, Houston, Bowser, and I think that's Roquan Smith, but I could be wrong. And generally when we do this, one of these two safeties off the edge gets clear. Marcus is usually going to be on the inside here, take away that in-breaking route, because he knows what the quarterbacks are going to do when they get that heavy pressure. Our point in studying this is the burst that Hamilton has. Not a great stance right now. Feet almost, together. And then gets into athletic stance. Great hit on the quarterback, right on the target area you want. I think he played fantastic against the Panthers. I don't know what the grade is. I don't know what, how many tackles he had for real. I know he had 6 solo tackles against the Saints the week before. I think he had 5 yesterday. Maybe it was 4. To me, if we miss him, he's a huge loss. Okay, now, this is the situation where he gets hurt, so you're going to get to all 22, and then an end zone angle. There's Hamilton. There's Chenault. It's trips. They're just running a little screen. Watch how he takes on DJ Moore. To me, it looks like Smith's leg hits Hamilton's leg. Again, you're not going to run these screens successfully with Roquan Smith out there. Watch the angle he takes. In a minute, you're going to get the end zone angle, and you'll see Hamilton in the collision. Hamilton's job is to force it, so basically to force everything inside so that guys like Smith and JPP, if he redirects, can run this down from the inside. Yeah, Roquan Smith misses the tackle. He does, but he gets involved enough such that Geno Stone, can finish it off. Does look bad. I thought it was the back of the thigh, but it ended up actually being the back of the leg. It's a 2nd and 10, 2-yard gain. So here you got Hamilton taking on Moore. He didn't drive him back 4 yards this time, but I still think he was quite physical with him and set a great edge. Yeah, so there you see Roquan's left leg hit him in the outside of the knee. So I was wrong. I thought it was up higher. I thought it was like a thigh, but it's not. Definitely a knee. Set of X-rays are okay. Who knows what the MRI says? Now, why did I show you that? Well, I don't like showing players get hurt. I think he's going to be okay for number 1. That's why I showed it. Number 2, I felt like I had to, because the very next play, 3rd and 8, on R27, defensive pass interference on Clark. What does it have to do with it? Well, if Hamilton's on the field, I think it's possible Hamilton is guarding this tight end. Chenault's not on the field. All right? So, I showed you the play earlier in man where JPP was real physical with Moore and Hamilton was on Chenault. Chenault's not on the field here. So if Hamilton's on the field, I don't think he's going to be on DJ Moore. I don't think he's going to be on Smith. I'm not sure I don't think he's going to be on Terrence Marshall. Okay? I think whether Hamilton's on the field or not, this is what we're going to get on this 3rd and 8. And I think down here, Hamilton will be on the tight end, and Brandon Stevens will be on this guy. Now, if Hamilton's on, you could say, well, Coach, I don't think 44 is going to be over here. 44 might be over here on Smith. I'm not sure. I think in this situation, we were going to put Marlon on 2, and then Marcus was going to be on whoever else was over there on the left side. My point is, I think Hamilton plays this better than Chuck Clark does against the tight end. You can let me know what you think. I'm not a huge – it is pass interference because it's way further downfield than 5 yards that contact is being made. To me, if this contact that's being made is being made around in this area, that's a gray area to me, even though it's 7 yards past. I'm a defensive guy. I'm not a stickler for that 5-yard area because it's an artificial situation anyway. No other level of football, well, I guess college does, but prior to that, we making contact all the way downfield until the ball was thrown in high school football because we want to let the receivers and tight ends know that they're not going to be able to just run routes and be unimpeded. But you can see contact is being made by Clark. The ball is out, so it's definitely pass interference, and it's definitely past the 5-yard area. So regardless of what I personally think of the rule, I hate it. It's pass interference. The larger point is this illustrates, if you ask me, what we could be missing if Hamilton is not available for a long period of time. Yeah, we're going to get Marcus Williams back soon. Geno Stone, I think, has played well. Clark has had some breakdowns lately, and I think generally over the course of the season has 6 or 8 of those that sometimes hurt us, sometimes don't. He had one against the Bears last year on the Bears' first touchdown in that road win against the Bears. I'm not sure if you guys remembered. I think it was on a 4th down, but it might have been a 3rd. My point is, we would really miss Kyle Hamilton if he's out for a while. It's not to say he's better than Chuck Clark. There's just certain things that he's doing now that he's doing at a higher level than Chuck Clark does. Just a fact. The size, the burst, the athleticism. I think he's better at covering a tight end than Chuck Clark is. Look at some of the situations where we've had late game leads blown, particularly the Bills game. Look at the trouble we had guarding Knox in that game late. There's a second and long down there in the red zone where Knox beats Geno Stone easily. I think it's Geno Stone on the left up to the top side of the field, left-hand side of the offense, right-hand side of our defense for like a 12-yard gain. And then the big one, if you ask me, I think it was a 3rd and 6, might have been a 3rd and 4. We're playing man, I think, and Chuck gets his eyes in the backfield and Knox beats him over the top for like a 16-yard gain. That was on the Bills' game-winning drive. That was huge. In my opinion, we have a guy in Kyle Hamilton who can do multiple things. He can blitz well. He can play curl flat well. He can force the ball inside, particularly against those slot wide receivers. It's a total mismatch, them trying to block him. He's got the burst to blitz and get there, have an impact. And then I think he can play man on tight ends. I know he had a DPI earlier in the year. Might have been in the Bills game. I think it was early in the Bills game, to be honest with you. Just remember that. But I think he's more suited to guard tight ends than Chuck Clark is just because of the size. I think we've got a really interesting rookie, and I hope he's healthy because he, to me, is a key part of this defense that just has a whole hell of a lot of really good, balanced football players. And when I say a lot, I mean 22, 24. However many guys are active for this defense every week, they're good football players. For real. And that, to me, is the strength of this team, is that so many guys can contribute. Kyle Hamilton, is he a all-pro? Is he a all-rookie team guy? I see the stuff on Twitter that PFF and other rating services say about him. I'm not disputing those things at all. I'm not. He's not targeted a whole lot, for real, when he's out there. He's not. He's oftentimes on the same side as Marlon Humphrey. I don't know if you've noticed it. People aren't throwing at Marlon Humphrey. Like yesterday against the Panthers, who were they targeting? Marcus Peters. And then when Hamilton went out and Humphrey went into the slot, playing basically nickel, who'd they target? Brandon Stevens. I mean, it's like clockwork. They're just not targeting Marlon Humphrey. It's very, even when we played the Bills and they had Stephon Diggs, who's had a great year and he's a great player, don't get me wrong. He didn't do much against us. I think 5 catches, maybe 6, if that, for 57 yards, something like that. So my point is, Kyle Hamilton is generally being used to play zone in certain situations, play man, and he's very good at both of those coverages. In the zone blitz stuff where he's playing hot 2, I like him better there than earlier in the year. That first touchdown that we gave up against the Dolphins in the 4th quarter, he was playing free safety in the zone blitz. That doesn't seem to suit him as well. He's way better at what he's being asked to do than Geno Stone or Chuck Clark are. And that's not to denigrate those guys. He's better at playing strong safety, nickel, curl flat than those guys are. It's just not even close. So it makes sense to me why he's being used where he is, and those two guys are still playing, 2 high safety or free safety, depending on how we're rotating, depending on how we're moving people around. Hopefully you guys appreciate the video. Let me know what you think of Kyle Hamilton's play, what you think of my breakdown. It's fun to watch from the standpoint of seeing him perform at a really high level, especially all the criticism that was thrown at him and reactionary stuff. I digressed in a video, maybe the reaction video Sunday night. I hate instant reactions, people that judge. He just turned 22, to my knowledge, after the draft. I think he was drafted at age 21. Could be wrong. Like, I hate when players are judged immediately and put in a little box. That's all they are. And it's shocking that it's Ravens fans that do that sometimes with a guy like Kyle Hamilton because, newsflash, that's what the rest of the football world did with Lamar Jackson, and we all had a problem with it. And then we turn around and do that to some of our own at times. Kind of disappoints me. And this guy certainly has not been disappointing to me at all. Even the times when he's had growth opportunities, that Miami game, the preseason game, I think, where he allowed a touchdown. Well, it could have been a touchdown. I think it was against Arizona, down near the end zone. He takes his eyes off the man he's covering, and he's blanketing the guy he's covering. And the quarterback starts to, maybe it was McSorley, I think. Quarterback starts to break out of the pocket. Hamilton leaves his guy, and then the ball is thrown to his receiver, and it's dropped. Those are growth opportunities for him to get better, and I think he has. Let me know if you agree with my assessment that he's gotten better. with each and every game that he's playing at a super high level. He's an integral part of this defense, and we need him to return as quick as possible. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section.